The Omicron, a new heavily mutated coronavirus variant causing global concern, has arrived in Hong Kong, just as the city is finally making progress with mainland Chinese authorities and reopening the border. Hence, most of the cases have occurred in southern Africa, implying the city to follow the example of several countries and ban non-residents from several nations on the continent from entering. Welcome back to the world of China. Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, it's free. Now let's get back. Recently, the new Omicron variant of the coronavirus caused a case in Hong Kong. A 38-year-old transit passenger who arrived in Qatar last Wednesday and was confirmed by COVID-19 on Sunday. He had spent 4 days on the airside restricted area of Hong Kong International Airport because of a visa-related issue, testing positive when he took a pre-departure test. The patient, who was unvaccinated and asymptomatic, tested positive for antibodies and had a low viral load. About 20 airport staff were identified as his close contacts and sent to quarantine, the source said. Health officials in Hong Kong previously stated that the traveler contracted the virus from another traveler who arrives from South Africa on flight QR818 via Qatar and was staying on the same floor at the Regal Airport Hotel. Both guests were under mandatory quarantine after arriving from abroad and stayed in rooms that were located opposite to one another. The other traveler, a 36-year-old male who arrived on November 11th, was seen wearing a valve mask, which doesn't filter the air that is breathed out by the wearer. He tested positive 2 days after his arrival on November 13th but was asymptomatic. A guest staying in the room across the hall, a 62-year-old arrival from Canada, tested positive 5 days later and also carried the Omicron variant. Both patients were fully vaccinated. As a precaution, authorities ordered all guests staying in 12 other rooms in the floor to move to the government's quarantine facility at Penny's Bay for 14 days of isolation. No related cases have been detected so far. The new Omicron variant of the coronavirus could be more contagious than the prevalent Delta strain, estimated by surprisingly distant transmission in a Hong Kong hotel, a top microbiologist warned on Wednesday, as a transit passenger who spent days at the airport became the city's fourth case. The HKU team, which on Tuesday night revealed it had successfully isolated the new variant, said it would partner with companies in mainland China to develop a vaccine targeting Omicron. In a statement, HKU said its Department of Microbiology researchers were the first known research team in Asia that has succeeded in isolating the Omicron variant. The isolated variant will enable the development and production of vaccines against Omicron, which has been designated as a variant of concern by the World Health Organization, or WHO. While it's still early days and little is known for certain, scientists say what separates the variant from previous ones is its high number of mutations. More mutations do not necessarily make variants more fearsome, but some do. The N501Y mutation found in the Delta variant has made it more than twice as transmissible as its previous forms, according to some estimates. Delta also has a shorter incubation period, at 4 days compared to the original 6 days on average. At a media briefing earlier this week, Professor Tulio de Oliveira, the director of the Center for Epidemic Response and Innovation in South Africa, said the B11529 or Omicron variant contained as many as 50 mutations overall and 32 on the spike protein, the key the virus uses to enter human cells and the part that a vaccine targets. The Delta variant has between 13 and 17 mutations on its spike protein. A closer examination of the new variant reveals that 10 of the mutations are located at the receptor binding domain, which is the first contact point between the virus and cells, compared to just 2 for Delta, which has already overrun the world. Countries worldwide are tightening travel restrictions in a bid to contain the spread of the new mutation first detected in South Africa last week. Scientists are scrambling to determine whether Omicron, which has many more mutations than previous strains, is more transmissible and resistant to current vaccines. Hong Kong earlier on Monday announced even tighter quarantine arrangements for fully vaccinated residents returning from 8 southern African countries, including South Africa. Hong Kong residents returning from 9 countries that have reported cases of the Omicron coronavirus variant will from Thursday have to undergo 21 days of hotel quarantine as part of the highest risk category, the government announced amid international concern at the new variant. The tougher rules will affect returnees from Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Israel, and Italy, who previously only had a 14-day quarantine period. Only fully vaccinated residents of Hong Kong will be admitted from those countries. They'll have to take 6 COVID tests during their 21 days of hotel quarantine under the tighter regulations announced on Monday evening. Starting Friday, Hong Kong will ban non-residents from entering the city from Japan, Portugal, and Sweden, according to the government. The 3 were added to a fast expanding list of countries facing travel restrictions due to concerns over the Omicron coronavirus variant. Non-Hong Kong residents who have been in the 3 countries in the past 21 days will not be allowed to enter the global financial hub. Residents can only board flights if fully vaccinated and will have to undergo 21 days of quarantine in a hotel at their own cost. Additionally, non-residents who have been to Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Israel, and Italy in the past 21 days would not be allowed to enter the city from December 2nd. Vaccinated residents returning from these countries will have to do 3 weeks of hotel quarantine. The Chinese mainland and Hong Kong are expected to resume quarantine-free travel as Hong Kong has fulfilled the requirements, and Hong Kong has entered the implementation stage for the orderly border reopening with the mainland. Hong Kong officials said last week after an epidemic prevention and control meeting of the 2 sides. The source said, while Hong Kong had suggested the suspension should be triggered only when there were 2 or more clusters in the city, Guangdong authorities preferred the threshold to be set at 1 case. The province is expected to be the first quarantine-free entry point to the mainland for Hong Kongers. The source said Beijing might need to step in for a final decision. Hong Kong had also asked for a daily quota of more than 1,000 travelers under the scheme, but Guangdong was still assessing its border clearance capacity and infection control standards, the source added. Media reports said that the HKSAR government is negotiating with mainland authorities to increase the daily quota of quarantine-free travel from 1,000 to at least 5,000, with a view of commencing the plan before Christmas or the Chinese New Year's Eve, which falls at the end of January next year. But coincidentally, news of this heavily mutated variant came on the same day as Hong Kong officials wrapped up talks on quarantine-free travel over the border with their mainland counterparts in Shenzhen on Thursday. The city was told it had met the basic requirements for the reopening, and only a handful of obstacles remained, including launching a new health code app. However, the official didn't reveal an exact date for commencing quarantine-free travel yet. While there has been no evidence that Omicron has spread within Hong Kong, some countries have already imposed restrictions on travelers from the city. Russia, Pakistan, and the Caribbean island nation of Antigua and Barbuda have imposed a travel ban on travelers from Hong Kong, along with at least 6 African countries. Switzerland is also requiring visitors from the city to undergo 10 days of quarantine before entering the country. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this video, then give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Watch more about why nobody wants to take the Chinese vaccine. The link is in the description below.